So with that, I'm going to go into a little video here just to kind of build on what I've told you here. But and then I'll wrap up with kind of, okay, knowing what we know now, how would we treat addiction? What's the best combination of ways to get addiction? But I should say, in introducing myself, I left out the part that I have a 19-year-old who's suffered through addiction. Our family has. So I should say that that's been my own personal experience. As soon as I showed up at Sierra Tucson for some odd reason, the addiction just blossomed in his life. He was 16, 17, somewhere in there. And my son Matt, I have two sons. Matt's adopted, and Reese is about a year younger. Reese is off doing astronomy studies at the University of Arizona now. And Matt's up in Phoenix in the Pathway program and doing really well. He's been sober for a year. But when he was, say, 16, he had been struggling in school. He had been to lots of docs, psychiatrists, and so on, that sort of stuff, because for the last 2 or 3 years, because he was struggling in school mainly. And the program that Mom and Dad had was, success in school, a couple of professionals, and this is what you're going to do, and how do we get you into this path that we have planned for you? And tutors and seeing a psychiatrist. Well, he's got ADD. Okay, met the criteria for ADD and all this other stuff. So different attention deficit meds. Really a train wreck because they made him feel so bad. We saw that. It just really wasn't working for him for school. So that, to me, kind of sort of set up what was coming next. And he was struggling with, around there with the existential crisis that comes with adoption. Who am I? Why did my birth mother give me up? That kind of stuff. All this is happening at once. Well, the wheels really fell off when he was 16 and a half. And we noticed that at first we caught him smoking pot, drug tested him and his brother. I sat down with them, gave him a big lecture. Brother kind of backed off. He just put the pedal to the metal. Things started disappearing from the house. He started not being in his room. Stuff that would be familiar to anyone who's been around anyone with an addiction disorder. Worrying if he's safe at night. Can't leave the wallet out on the counter because the money's going to disappear. All this stuff that goes with having somebody who is, now we can say it, that circuit is compulsively seeking people, places, and things that are associated with this addiction. It just totally took him over. And of course, what it does to a family. It's just there's fear for the kid. What are they going to do? We sort of oscillate between trying to get him back in his path and enabling by sort of, okay, we just really want to keep you safe. So whatever it takes to keep you safe. Fortunately, over the next 2 years, we got him in a program, enthusiastic sobriety program, where he had a bunch of kids, a whole bunch of people around him. They gave him an alternative to that circuit, sort of an alternative to it. So I'm sort of giving it away, but he was sort of in an empty cage in Tucson, in a way. There was nothing, he felt, I know he's told me, he felt really empty inside, lonely, isolated, that sort of thing. No mas when he went into this program. He relapsed once, went through a wilderness program before he was 18, came back, and he told me after that, I did it the first time kind of for you guys, for Mom and Dad. I did it for you guys. I was just sort of going through the motions. And we could tell because he relapsed. But right now, it looks like he's taking control of his life. He's working most of the time, losing jobs, working, and kind of feeling his way as a 19-year-old into being independent, living with 2 other kids. And talks a lot about all this kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes with this. Real bright kid. All the kids he's with, they're all real smart kids. That's what makes them so devious, so difficult to work with. But so that's my story. As for my personal story, so I'm transitioning from mostly a pain practice where I'm seeing a lot of folks with addiction issues, but referring them out to a place where I'm really immersed in addiction treatment, also trauma, PTSD, mood, and that sort of thing. And all of a sudden this comes out. It was just an odd coincidence in my life. So that's my personal story with this. So far so good. I will tell you that one of the really important things for recovery for Matt was for mom and dad, me in particular, to get involved in the parent program. Was for me to get involved in understanding what I did and didn't do that sort of fueled the problem or helped the problem. That was really, really, really important. And him seeing me doing that makes a big difference, makes all the difference. So with that, I'm going to show you a little video. Has anyone seen this? Everything you know, you think you knew about addiction is wrong? No? Good. Okay, so it's not a rerun. There's a bunch of TED Med talks. Everything you think you knew about popcorn, I don't know, whatever is wrong. That's a favorite line because it's kind of oh, I'm wrong. Let me go watch this. Anyway, but this guy is going to talk about some of the science that I put out there. So that's kind of why I wove it in. And I think it's a nice lead-in to what you're going to hear the rest of the day.